Shalom, shalom, everybody. This Prophets of Awakening. We had a little opposition for a minute, but we got past it. So we're gonna just proceed forward with this episode, which is episode 4, and this is Prophets of Awakening. This our platform, which is an uncomfortable conversation with a non-Messianic Hebrew Israelite. And like I was saying before in the previous episodes, 1, 2, and 3, this whole thing was set up to dispel the lies that's been heaped upon us as Hebrew Israelites. And this episode is called Thinking Like a Hebrew. And what I'm doing is I'm gonna be combining all the rest of the previous episodes, going back, doing some reflection, because the next episode that's coming up is going to, what I'm doing right here is going to be detrimental to setting up for episode 5, which is going to be going all the way in on our Redeemer and who our Redeemer really is and who our Messiah is. But more specifically, who our Redeemer is. So with that being said, I want to say shalom, shalom, and another shalom. And so to bring everybody up to speed with this conversation, I would like to return to the previous episodes. We here at the Prophet of Awakening have uncovered countless lies that surround us as Hebrew Israelites, the holy people of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Therefore, we created this conversation in order to depose the lies and dwell in the truth. With that being said, I have to inform you of I try to do this in every episode, and tell everybody about the red and the blue pill, because gotta introduce you to that, because I'm not here to try to strong arm anybody, make anybody believe what I want them to believe or whatever. I'm just doing what I was commanded to do, and let the chips fall where they may. But you have the option. You can deal with this red pill, and like I said, deal with the truth and deal with what's being uncovered, or you can deal with the blue pill and stay where you're at, and continue on, and be a Christian or whatever you want to be, and continue on how you want to do it. That's on you. So he says, first I would like to break down the word Hebrew Israelite, because a lot of people don't really understand what Hebrew Israelite means, and you have so many people that's waking up all around the world, which is a prophecy that's it was prophesied in Isaiah chapter 44, 1-5, that this was going to happen, and now that it's happening, and people are coming in contact with people all over the place, on the street corners, everywhere, sporting venues and everything, saying that they're Hebrew Israelites. And so I wanted to make plain what a Hebrew Israelite is. But I'm going to read this prophecy first before I do that. It's in Isaiah 44. Okay. Isaiah 44, 1-5, it says, "Yet hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord, that made thee, and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou, Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, floods upon dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessings upon thine offspring, and they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the watercourse. One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and surname himself by the name of Israel. And we see that started about 10, 15 years ago. It kind of started, escalating, but now it's full blown, and you see African Americans and people from the Caribbeans and all over, and in the UK, all over, now proclaiming themselves to be Hebrew Israelites, and the connection comes from right here. The Most High said that in the last days that He was going to help us because of our condition, because we've been brainwashed. We was cast over here in our lands of our enemies in Deuteronomy 28, and we've been hoodwinked on who we are and our identity and everything. We lost all that. So He promised that in the last days He would return to us and pour His Spirit out upon the Israelite seed, Jacob's seed, and then they would wake up and they would start renaming themselves by the names of Israel and surnaming themselves by the name of Israel. And we see that prophecy is in full effect, like I said. So with that being said, I wanted to break down this word Hebrew Israelite. It's the word Hebrew is pertaining to one of our forefathers right after the flood, which is Eber, and Eber is Hebrew, and it's and that comes in play. The meaning of that word is those who crossed over, and so they crossed over what? They came up from the old world in before the flood and crossed over the waters of the flood and ended up on this side of the flood. So those are the children of Eber. And then Israelite, I'm going to read that. Okay. So that's in Genesis. Let me see. That's in Genesis 10, verse 21. I'm going to start reading this. Genesis 10, verse 21. And unto Shem, also the father of the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even him were the children born. And the children of Shem, Elam, Asher, Araphat, Lud, and Aram. The children of Aram, Uz, Hul, Gether, and Nosh. And Araphat begot Shelah. Shelah begot Eber. And unto Eber were born two sons. And the name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. So that's where these are the people that crossed over the flood. They're descendants of from Noah and Shem. And so the Israelite part comes in from our father Jacob. Jacob wrestled with an angel, and his name was changed to Israel. And that Israel, it means that he who strove with the Lord. And so we're going to go to Genesis 32 and read that. It says, I'm in Genesis 32, I'm starting at verse 24. And it says, and Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. So what that when you understand what a name means, it's a signature that's put on us as a people. We are the people that overcame the flood, ended up on the other side of the flood, and we also, part of our character is the people that strive with our maker, strive with the Lord of hosts. And so that's how we ended up over here in this captivity we in now, because we continually over and over again strove with our Redeemer and strove with the Lord of hosts, to the point where he cast us out of the land in 143 BC. And we ended up, like I said, on the west coast of Africa. And then from there, the prophecy of Deuteronomy 28 and 68, ships came and brought us here where we are right now. So like I said before, so did our Father strive with the Lord, so we striving with him. It says, and the Lord of hosts is this is the reason why we are, like I said, this is the reason why we're here in the Americas today, because of we stiff-necked and hard-headed, and we don't just listen to what the Most High tells us. We want to oppose it and go up against it, and like I said, that happened over and over again. To the Most High got his indignation came to a full when we was cast out over here into this country. And so I want you to check out this little image right here. This is, this is where our forefathers Jacob received his name at right here. He strode with the angel, and he strode with him to the point where it was time for the angel to go, and he wouldn't let him go. We had to hit him with a blast on his hip, and for him to release it. And like I said, after that, this is when the angel named it Israel. And like I said, that those characteristics are on the descendants of Jacob, because we striving with him the same way our forefather did. Okay. So with that being said, I want to deal with like I said, I want to go back a little bit and do a little backtracking for people that's not really familiar with a lot of the stuff, a lot of information that's been brought forth. So I'm kind of take you back for a minute and come back up to where we are today. So I informed everybody in episode 1 how that the big book of Enoch was taken away from us, because when you encounter the book and you read it, you find out that it's a very important book, because the purpose of it was that Enoch was taken up and shown all the things that was going on in heaven and how heaven interacts with earth, and he was commanded by the Lord of hosts to bring that back down to the earth, and that book was for all his descendants after him forever, every generation, so that they'll understand how the goings on of how everything operated in heaven, and how everything came about in the beginning. So it says Enoch was taken up by the Lord into heaven. The reason being was for him to write everything down that he saw in a book. Right, the book was returned to the earth, and it was written for all the descendants of Adam and Hebrew Israelites, to inform them about the goings on of heaven and how heaven conducted business with the earth. It also tells us about the 7 angels that were formed in the very beginning, in the eyes of the Lord. That's in Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10. We're gonna run through that right quick. So everything will flow. So it's Zechariah chapter 4. Zechariah chapter 4. This is just so important, because so many people in the past, they coming out of these other churches and other religions, and that's tied to our children, Old Testament, tied to Tanakh, but you're not getting the proper understanding of it. So they read over this because they don't see the significance of it. But in Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10, it says, "For who have despised the day of small things, for they shall rejoice and see the plummet in the hands of Zerubbabel with those 7. They are the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro in the whole earth. So with that being said, I'm gonna have to set this little quick display up so you can see what Enoch was telling us. Okay. Well, I don't see my little things liking. Okay. Yeah. So right here. Put this up here. Show you this. Okay, yeah. So what happened was Enoch tells us that in the very beginning it was 7 angels that the Most High created. You know, but in Christianity and in the New Testament it tells us something totally different. It says that in the beginning it was the Word and all that, but Enoch informs us that in the beginning it was these 7 angels right here. And I'm gonna run through this right quick, so we're gonna get held up. So he tells us that it was these 7 angels at the very beginning. It was Most High, and then in the very beginning he formed these 7 angels. And the first one he formed was Michael. Then Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Phinel, Regel, and Jeremiel. And what you notice about these is they all got L's. Even in the book of Enoch with the fallen angels, they all got L on the end of their name. So it's Michael L, Gabriel, Raphael. So Yah, those are L's. That L means strong one. So when you understand that Creator Yahweh, he's not an L. He created these L's, which are angels, strong ones. There's spirit, L, strong one is all synonymous with angels. And so what he's saying is, what he's telling us, when you understand that, you see so many people say they use when they reading and they get to the Lord, they say Lord is a bad word, so they replace Lord with Elohim. But you can't replace Lord with Elohim because Elohim is angels. El is singular form of one angel, but Elohim is plural. The I am makes it plural is more than one. It's just like you have a seraph, that's one angel, but a seraphim is more than one. Or you have a cherub, is one angel, but a cherubim is more than one. So you cannot replace Lord with Elohim because the Elohim is angels right here. These are 7 Elohim that the Most High created in the very beginning. This is what Enoch informed us, and so this is the very first one he formed right here. Michael L. And then from there, he formed these other 6. And this one right here, Michael L. Like I was, the reason I went to and broke down what Hebrew Israelite means is the same with these names. These angels right here, names, they mean something. And once you figure out what their names mean, then you go back to the scriptures, and when you start reading the scriptures again, it's going to come alive because you're going to see them performing their roles, which their name tell you what they do. So this angel Michael L means he who is like Yahweh. So there's no other angel like that. When we're in the process of these episodes and this uncomfortable conversation, we're going to find out just how important his role is and just how significant his name is, because there's no other angel like him. He has characteristics and powers like no other angel. And reason being was he was the first angel the Most High created, a form. These 7 was formed, but the rest of the angels were created, but these 7 was formed from the very beginning. This is the first one was formed, and so this is Most High's companion, and David had Joab as his right hand man, as his strong man. Most High got Michael That's a strong man. He's the one with the sword. He's the one that's doing all the dirty work. He's the one commanding the nations and all this stuff in the scriptures. So I'm gonna give you one verse just for a refresher to kind of get you to see what I'm talking about. I'm in Daniel, right quick. Daniel chapter Daniel chapter 8, verse 15. And what's happening is to make this to get to the point, Daniel had a vision in verses 1 through 14. Then in verse 15, he's waiting for the interpretation of the vision. And so Gabriel is the angel of understanding right here. We see he's second, Most High created. We formed this angel, Michael first. We created Gabriel. Gabriel is over understanding. So when a prophet gets a vision, then Gabriel's gonna show up and give him understanding. Gabriel's the angel of understanding. So it says, and it came to pass, and notice that Michael is in charge of the six. He's the first one formed, Gabriel second. So it says, and it came to pass when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision, sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. So he's waiting on the interpretation. And so we know who this man is. It's Gabriel. It says, but verse 16 says, but I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uliah, which called and said to Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So somebody commanded Gabriel to make the vision, to make Daniel understand the vision. There's another angel there that commanded Gabriel. So we see right here, from what Enoch tells us, Michael is over Gabriel. He over these six. He's the first one for him. So it's Michael that's telling Gabriel to go and make Daniel understand. It's not Yahweh. It's Michael telling him to go and make him understand. And so that's big because of what we've been doing up until this point. We putting all this stuff off on Yahweh, but it's not Yahweh. So I'm gonna give you one more. Then I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna go to Exodus right quick. 23. We in Exodus 23, and what's happening is we on Mount Sinai, and what's happening on Mount Sinai is the Most High is commanding Moses and dealing with him on how to deal with the Israelites and how to move them forward to the land of Canaan, to the land of milk and honey. So we're gonna pick it up in verse in chapter 23, verse 20, and the Most High is talking to Moses, for Moses to talk to the Israelites. And he says, behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then will I be an enemy unto thy enemies and an adversary unto my adversary. For mine angel shall go before thee and bring thee into the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, Canaanites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. So we see right here, the Most High it's not the Most High that's in front of the Israelites. It's not the Most High that's leading the Israelites. It's his angel right here. Michael L is leading, right? And the Most High keeps saying over and over again, the person that's talking in the scriptures keeps saying he inherited Israel. Well, this is how he inherited. Yahweh gave Israel over to him, right here. The strong one. This is the strong one of Israel. So anyway, he tells us that he listen to him and obey his voice, not Yah's voice. Yah is up in the heavens of heavens. It's his angel that's telling that they have to obey his voice. So with that understanding, we're gonna go to Deuteronomy 28, the curses, and see who it is behind these curses. Deuteronomy 28. In Deuteronomy 28, it's told us that verses 1 through 14 are the blessings. So he said, if you obey his voice, we just read who voice we got to obey. It's not Yah, it's his angel voice we got to obey. So if we obey his voice, we're going to receive these blessings 1 through 14. But if we don't, the consequences of us not obeying them was the curses. Deuteronomy 15 through 68. So I'm just going to read verse 15. It says, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So we see now who it is that they're dealing with from what we just read in Exodus 23 and 20. It says, but if it should come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So what I'm doing is giving you the lining you up to understand who it is that's bringing this drama on us as Israelites, and who it is that we was dealing with, who it is that was leading us. That's another example of that is that when you read in Jeremiah that Nebuchadnezzar came up to Babylon and burned it down, and brought the Israelites back to Babylon, but it wasn't Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar the king. It was his Lord of hosts. Nebuzaradan the one burned. Nebuchadnezzar sent him. Nebuzaradan the one burnt down Jerusalem and rounded up the choice of the Israelites and brought them back to Babylon. So the same thing applies here. You have to understand that the Lord of hosts, the Pharaoh, when Joseph became second in command, the Pharaoh told all his constituents and everybody in the royal people that was in Egypt, Joseph is ruling Egypt, and I'm the ruler, but I'm only greater than Joseph on my throne, my title. On the throne, am I only greater than Joseph? But everywhere else, Joseph ruling. So you have to apply that to what I'm trying to show you right now. So it ain't as we've been, like I was saying, we got an addition, an attachment that was attached to our scriptures, to not. It's Old Testament is our scriptures. The New Testament was attached to it. And we was given another God, and we can't see none of this stuff right here. What I'm important to you right now because of the New Testament, and so that's where we headed. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna move forward because I got a bunch of stuff I want to show you. So what I want to do now, I was telling you how that Enoch had made this statement about the Most High created these 7 angels, and so what I'm gonna do now is first I'm gonna read Isaiah 44:6 because it's gonna explain what I just said, how that Nebuchadnezzar had a strong one over that was his strong one was Nebuzaradan, and Pharaoh chose Joseph. And he said that only Joseph was only strong, he was only greater than Joseph on his throne. Everywhere else, him and Joseph was, same. He's just on the throne. He was greater than him. And Joseph was the one that conducted all the business and the one everybody dealt with and the one everybody feared because he was a strong one in Egypt. So the Most High Kingdom is the same way. He got a strong one. And like I said, you've been seeing and hearing that Michael carrying the sword, but you don't know why he carrying the sword. He carrying the sword because he's the strong one, both in heaven and on earth. He the one conducting all the Most High business. Right. So, yeah, and let me give you one more verse right quick, because to make this plain. Because I know this is a difficult conversation and a lot of stuff you ain't heard before. So, and like I said, there is no way I can concoct it and then go to the scriptures and show it to you, unless it's the truth. So I'm in Exodus chapter 3, right quick. Exodus chapter 3 says, this is when Moses was at the burning bush. And like I said before I even read it, you assume that it was Yahweh, but it's not Yahweh that was at the burning bush. It says, now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert, came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him. That's this person right here, Michael here, right here. Angel of the Lord. The angel of the Lord, the angel. It says, and verse 2, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in the flame of fire out of the midst of the bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside to see this great sight, while the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here I am. And he said, draw nigh hither, pull off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place wherein thou standest is holy ground. So we see it's an angel there. So why is the ground holy? These are 7 holy angels. When they show up, wherever they at, the area where they at is holy. And it do you wise. You should take your shoes off. So yeah. Okay. So let me get some more. I'm gonna go into to some of the things, because a lot of stuff we had went over. I showed you where well, that's what I'm gonna go to next. I'm gonna show you where we talked about the 16 crucified saviors, and I'm just gonna give you a little run through of them, how that it was 16 crucified, dying and rising, dying and resurrecting saviors before Jesus. He's the 16th one. So when Constantine used Ebus to conduct the Council of Nicaea, that's what the objective was. He was creating the 17th crucified Savior, and he needed a god or idol. He needed to create an idol or a god in order for his to stabilize his empire, just like all the rest of them did. Like we see that Nebuchadnezzar did the same thing. He created an image and propped it up in front of the people and put demands on the people to worship it. So it's Constantine ain't doing that no different. Once he subdued the other 3, the Roman Empire was divided into 4 parts because of that failed. Rome had got sacked, and so once he subdued the other 3 men, he was sole ruler. He needed a unifying image or idol to control everything. So he had previous encounters with all these other nations and gods, and the Greeks. That's what they do, synchronize everything. So, but now they have access to our records because we've been subdued. We've been ran out. We was ran out in 143 BC to the west coast of Africa, and now we got Josephus and Philo and Alexander, all these Edomite Jews that's informing these Romans how to deal with us. And so anyway, I'm gonna run through some of these idols, some of these crucified saviors right quick. Anybody got any comments on what I say so far while I'm doing this?
Shalom, shalom. Yeah.
I can't put up my thing.
Your avatar?
I don't see it. I don't see it. It's not on the screen.
Can the person behind the scenes do it for you?
I don't know. I don't see this. No, it's not showing up on here.
Hit the stop cam button where it says
It's not on. I don't see it. It's not up here.
scroll the three little buttons. Do you see it there?
No, they ain't here.
Over here. Really?
They ain't on the screen. I don't see them.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah.
The three little dots?
No, they ain't up here. I don't see them.
Do you have your screen in a different mode tonight, Leonard? Maybe.
No. I just came in on and then like I always do.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that it's not counting down either like it normally does.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but it's all good because I've been having opposition all day. It's all good.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep moving. Yeah. So what I did earlier was this right here. I was showing you how that. I mean, like I said, this is hard to believe, but these are the list of crucified saviors. Mm-hmm. And you see down here, right here, Jesus the last one. And so what it says is, but Jesus is special. You got all these idols from Buddha all the way down to Thomas, but the last one, Jesus, is he good. The rest of them wicked as hell, but he good. And then it says, but he's Jesus special. So here go some of the idols that was created before Jesus came. Because this guy is Dionysus, and then Krishna, and over here Murdoch, right here. And so that's just a few of them. And so yeah. So anyway, but the major one that had to play in our deception was Horus. And that's where we're going right now. We're going to deal with Horus right quick because it was Horus, and all that the Egyptians did is what brought about the deception that we're dealing with now. Like I was saying before, the Romans, they got hooked our records, and then they had Philo of Alexandria and all them Peter the Elder, Peter the Younger. They was all over in Egypt, in Alexandria, Egypt, with the library, and they was conspiring with our records and writing other books and plagiarizing our books and all that. That's where you get the New Testament from. So with the Council of Nicaea, what they did was they compiled all the books that these Edomites that was in Egypt, Alexandria, Egypt, was writing, and they compiled them all together and put them together. And so, like I was saying before, the 29th dynasty in Egypt was Edomites. Alexander was an Edomite. His daddy was an Edomite, Philip, and Philip's father was one of the 12 sons of Esau, Zephno. And Zephno had left from his homeland, went to Macedonia, Chechem, and they made him king over them. And that's what brought the Greeks to the Middle East. Was behind their hatred for the Israelites, and they wanted to subdue the Israelites. And that's what brought them there, because of the head over these Gentiles, which the Chechem was Edomites, and they came there to the Middle East to subdue Israel, and they went about it through. They ended up Ptolemy, one of those four generals, ended up taking Egypt. The 29th dynasty was Edomites, and then from there he received Judea, and that's what brought our demise in 143 BC at the end of the Greek kingdom. The Bible tells you not the fourth beast, but at the end of the third beast, that a king of fierce countenance was going to stand up, and that was Antioch Epiphanes. And let's read that right quick. it says in Daniel, this another one of those things that people read over. They don't read, because of this information is not in the forefront of their understanding. They read over these verses. So it says, I'm in chapter 8 of Daniel, and in the very beginning of it, it's the ram and he goat. He had a vision, and we're gonna pick it up in verse 19. It says, and he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation. For the time appointed, the end shall be the ram which thou sawest, having two horns, or two kings, or the kings of Medes and Persia. That's the second beast. It says, and the rough goat is the king of Greece, and the great horn between his eyes is the first king. That's Alexander the Great. And I just told you who he was. He's an Edomite. His daddy was an Edomite, full-blooded Edomite, and his grandfather, Zephaniah, was one of the 12 direct descendants from Esau. And then it says, 22. Now, that being broken, Alexander died, whereas four stood up for it. 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in its power. So the Greek kingdom is divided is into 4 different segments. It's still a Greek kingdom, but it's divided into 4 parts. And then 23, in the latter times of their kingdom, the Greek kingdom, when the transgressors are come to a full, a king of fierce countenance, understanding dark sentences, shall stand up. So it's the end of the Greek kingdom. It's the third beast. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace he shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken with hand. So that's what Antioch Epiphanes. He showed up on the scene just as prophesied during the third beast, and he destroyed the temple. He's the same person in Daniel 9:25. Let me read that. The same person right here, this king of fierce countenance, is the same person in Daniel 9:26. And after 62 weeks shall the Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end, wars and desolations are determined. And he shall, the king of fierce countenance, shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblations to cease. For the overspreading of the abomination, he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So we see right here, you saying, well, how did I come up with that? Let me grab something right quick. I'll be right back. So what I was just reading was when you read that in the proper content, that's a prophecy. But every prophecy has to come to pass. So that was a prophecy that this man right here was gonna come. Yeah. That's Antioch Epiphanes right there. And I just read you in 2 different places. Daniel 7, Daniel 8, and Daniel 9. The prince that shall come, Daniel 9:26, was this man. And then it's at the end of the third beast. And so what we was reading was prophecies. Just like I showed you Isaiah 44, 1-5, about us waking up in the latter days. It was prophesied back then, and it came to pass right here in front of our faces. So these prophecies I read in Daniel 8 and Daniel 9:26, they were prophesied about, but they came to pass here. And you're going to see why, you're starting to see why it's books and gaps in our story, because they take it out. So here go your apocryphal book. Right here, this apocryphal book. I know you heard of that. So I'm in First Maccabees. These are just examples I'm giving you to bring you up to speed. Let me get it. Okay. I'm in First Maccabees, if I can get it right. I'm in First Maccabees. You can check this out on your own. It's in the apocryphal books. First Maccabees says it came to pass after Alexander of Macedon, the son of Philip. I told you who they were. These Edomites that's ruling over the Macedonians, who came from the land of Chechen, had utterly defeated Darius, the king of Medes and Persians. That's what we just read in Daniel. That he had reigned in his stead, and he had before reigned over Greece, and he waged many wars and captured fortresses and slaughtered the kings of the earth, and he made his way to the ends of the earth and despoiled a multitude of nations. The whole earth was quiet before him, and he became exalted, and his heart was uplifted. He mustered a very mighty army and ruled over the lands and rulers of the heathens, and they paid him tribute. Afterwards, he fell sick and knew that he was going to die, so he called his distinguished servants who had been brought up with him, these 4 more Edomites, Ptolemy one of them, and he divided his kingdom among them while he was still alive. Alexander had reigned 12 years when he died. His servants, and we go to prophecy right here fulfilling itself. His servants succeeded him, each in his own dominion. After his death, they all put on crowns, as did their sons after them, for many years, and they did much evil on the earth. There sprung from them a sinful shoot named Antioch Epiphanes, this guy right here. Just like we just read. In the latter days, the king of fierce countenance is going to stand up. It says, there sprung from them a sinful shoot named Antioch Epiphanes, the son of King Antiochus. He had been a hostage in Rome, and he became king in the 137th year of the Greek kingdom. So that's the prophecy right there that we just read over there in Daniel chapter 8. That the king of fierce countenance was coming, and just the prophecy over here. But notice it's not in the Bible nowhere, because they don't want you to know that, because they got you thinking the Antichrist coming. But how he gonna come with in the Israelites scattered and the people it says he gonna destroy the holy people. We the holy people, and our temple already been destroyed. So how Antichrist gonna come and destroy our temple? And the people that's over in the land now is Edomites. So how is he gonna come? And so what I'm showing you is he already came. And so they done flipped the narrative on you and got you blind. And this is the reason the Most High is saying in the latter days, bring forth the people who have eyes and can't see and ears that can't hear, because of the nations around us and the Greeks and the Romans, they didn't get a number on us. They didn't gave us a new God and all that. We all messed up. So with that being said, this guy right here, Antioch Epiphanes, is one that 143 drove us out, and that brings us to right now, episode 5. Episode 4 right here, thinking about thinking like a Hebrew. So now I'm gonna show you how that it was the Most High said in Genesis chapter 25. We're gonna go on in from here. In Genesis chapter 25, it says, that when these 2 boys was born, it was 2. Rebecca found out that she was with child after Jacob had prayed for her. Isaac had prayed for her, and we're gonna read what happened. So it says, Genesis 25, verse 19. These are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Paneram, the sister of Laman, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. So the Most High had her womb closed up, and Isaac, was a mediator, prayed for her. It says, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations, see that? 2 nations are in thy womb, two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one shall be stronger than the other, and the other shall serve the younger. And when her days were delivered, when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came out his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bore him. So the Most High, not me, said that it was two different type of people who were gonna come out of her womb, two manner of people. So that's where we picked this up at, because what has happened is what I just read to you in the book of Daniel, that the Israelites left way back in 143 BC when the Antioch Epiphany drove them out. And so we're going to show you, I gave you a little bit of this before, but we're going all the way in on it right now to set up for episode 5. So in 143 BC, the Israelites left. I'm going to show you their route they went. And then in 70 AD, there was Edomites that was driven out of the land because they stole the land of Israel when the Israelites when the Most High indignation came to a full against the Israelites. In the book of Obadiah, Esau stole the land when they left. When they, he assisted the Greeks in running the Israelites out, and he even killed the remnant. And so from that point on, they was in the land of Israel, living like the Israelites, posing as Israelites, named themselves by the same 12 name of the 12 tribes. They stole the land by lot, and they was existing there all the way up to 70 AD. So let's look at that, because I gotta read it to you right quick. So he says, in Obadiah. Obadiah says, just to browse through this right quick, he says, Obadiah that's only one chapter, verse 10. The Most High is talking. He says, for thy violence against thy brother, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them. But thou should not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither should you have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither should thou have spoken proudly in the day of their distress. So this is talking about Antioch Epiphanes, this guy. What I told you was prophesied about in Daniel, but it came to pass in the first Maccabees. He came, just like the Most High said, and that was the day of Israel's destruction. In the third beast, not the fourth beast. And he came and he ran them out. But and Obadiah exposing this, and most Israelites don't want to deal with Obadiah. Edomites. So he says, 13, thou should not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou should not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. The calamity is, like I said, the prophecy of Antioch Epiphanes coming, the prince that shall come and destroy the city and the sanctuary. It says 14, neither should thou have stood in the crosshairs to cut off those that did escape. That's the remnant. The Most High always leave a remnant. Esau would know that. So Esau assisted them in killing the remnant. He don't want nobody there because he wants the land. It says that they escaped. Neither should thou have delivered up those that did remain in the day of distress. And so verse 11 says, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive forces, foreigners entered into the gates, cast lots. That's the 12 tribes, the lots. When they came in the land from Egypt, and they came into the land of Canaan to conquer it, to possess it, they divided up into 12 lots. And Esau came in the land and to get the 12 lots. And they started from that point on, they was posing as Israelites, naming themselves by the 12 tribes. And that's what you dealing with when you dealing with the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the Essenes and all them people. That's Edomites in the land. So that's what that is. And so, like I was saying before, and then they had these Edomites, so many of these Edomites that when they was in Alexandria, Egypt, they changed they didn't want to deal with the Bible, they didn't want to deal with the Tanakh in Hebrew. They got together and had to translate it into Greek because they was Hellenized Greek Jews, Edomites. They weren't Israelites. The Israelites is on the west coast of Africa. So I'm gonna show you that. Like I said, the Most High said it's two manner of people that was be separated from Rebecca Biles. We're gonna go into that right now. Okay. So anybody got any comments or anything right now while I'm doing this? So yeah.
Yes. So so even though Jacob and his brother came from the same womb,
Right.
their would you say their DNA was different, or would you just say, how would you say that even though they came from the same womb?
Yeah,
One.
they got he said they got two different types of mannerisms.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it at that because it's something more bigger to it than that. But I'm gonna impose that on a later date.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
But anyway, so it's two different manner of people that came out of there, two manner of people, and so, man, can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that? The one over in the corner.
Hold just a second.
Can you see this?
Not.
Okay, yeah. So right here, this is these two manner of people. So I told you in 143 BC, right here. This is Israelites. They left when the Antioch Epiphanes came, and they fled. They went this route over in Africa, right? 70 AD. They stole it when the Israelites left right here. Esau stole the land. We just read it in Obadiah, and they was there all the way up until they said Antioch Epiphanes came at the very end of the fourth beast, and then so Rome came in. Augustus Caesar and Caesarion and all them came on the scene. And then, so all that time, the Edomites in the land of Israel. Herod's temple he's an Edomite. The people in the land is Edomites. He's king of the Jews. He's Edomite. Edomite, Hellenized Edomite Jews that's in the land. They sided. They in league with Rome. That's why Edom is Rome. Edom is Japhet and Esau that intermingle. That's what Edom means. So you see right here on these maps right here. See, they left. This is the route they went 70 AD because they in league with them. Herod's been in royal from Israel in the 70 AD. Titus and Vespasian gave them safe passage to Spain. That's why. That's how you get Columbus and all them in the three ships that left out looking for America. These Sephardic Jews, Edomites, that was ran out in 70 AD. They went here, but notice all the places they went to. They went all in the areas of Europeans because they in league with them. The Israelites left before that. They went this way. So, like I say, keep in mind, it's two manner of people. This one manner of people, they went this here. They went away from their enemies. These people right here, they in league with them. They went in all these Jewish settlements because it's not Israelite settlements, it's Jewish settlements all along here. because they in league with them. These Israelite settlements over here, 2 different people. So we're gonna go all the way in on that. So that I'm showing you the migration route right here. Now I'm gonna show you the temples. Because that's what they're getting us at by saying the fact that we wait on the third temple to be built. But let's look at it. This right here is the Edomite temple, Heritage temple. Right here. That's the temple that was destroyed in 70 AD. This is Bluebell temple right here. So this is the Bluebell temple right here. And if you go, if you know the story, when Bluebell temple was destroyed, when it was built, it says the people mourn. You know, people rejoicing because they just come back from Babylon, but you can hear the mourning. The elders that came back from Babylon, that saw Solomon temple, how big it was, and this temple right here, they was mourning. You can hear the mourning over the other. So this was Zerubbabel temple. This is the second temple. This temple here, the Edomite temple, it ain't got nothing to do with Most High. So this Zerubbabel temple right here. This is the one that was destroyed in Daniel 9:25, 26, 27 by Antioch Epiphanes. This one we were laying out right here. This is the Edomite temple that was destroyed in 70 AD. So, like I was saying before, we're gonna expound on it a little more a little later, but I'm gonna keep on going with this here so you that two manner of people. It's gonna become apparent, very apparent in a minute. So now we're gonna deal with so they concocted once they got into the land, I told you it was in Alexandria and around that library writing all these books. And so through Constantine, the Edomites, they came up with this book right here. This state book. Like the most I said, it's two different kind of people. And then this right here, it's our book right here. See right here? Tanakh. That's the Holy Scriptures. And the reason why they're holy is because of they Most High is thus said the Lord from Genesis to Malachi, and Daniel tells us that he closed that book up. Book of Remembrance closed up to the latter days. So they opened it. They like I said, with them being in Alexandria and writing all these books and concocting them, they opened it back up by saying that John the Baptist was Elijah. But we're gonna explore. We're gonna deal with that later on. So this book right here is predicated off of this Edomite book. It's predicated off of this book right here. Predicated off of this book right here. The book of David. So that's how they concocted this, because they were dealing with all the Tanakh and they dealing with the book of David. That's how they got this book. And so we talked about earlier that how it was for 16 crucified saviors, right? And so, and I showed you a few of those saviors, but the one that's detrimental to us is the one I'm getting ready to show you. So this Horus right here. Horus comes out of the book of Deed. So he's one of the crucified saviors that died. So I'm gonna tell you a story, the brief story of him. His father was killed by his brother, and his body was divided up into 17 different parts, and he threw them all over, and his brother hid out his body parts all over Egypt. This is the way the story goes. And then his phallus, he threw his phallus into the Nile River, and crocodiles ate it. So ISIS went and found all the parts and put them back together, but she couldn't find his private. So she made a golden phallus, and then she turned into a hawk and hovered over him, flapping her wings, and she immaculately conceived Horus. That's how you get Horus. That's why Horus, they show him as a hawk right here. Besides, you look right here, they show him as a hawk right here. It's Horus. So when seeing that story, and look at the content of the New Testament, and then, like I said, all the symbolism, you start coming together. So this who when at the council, they're still when they concocted when they concocted the idol Jesus, they predicated off this person because he died on December 25th. He rose on December 25th, and then all this stuff was predicated off the sun. And then, like I said before, if you look at at the end of all the books in the New Testament, it's got our moon on the end of it. You don't see that in the New Testament. So the Most High said 2 manner of people are going to be separated from Rebecca's barn. We see this day book. We see where they went, when they migrated, and we see who their God is, and so this show you who this life God is. So this life God right here. So, like I said, see the sword? See the sword? I'm gonna read something in a minute, but you go to see him right here. Lord of hope. That's a strong one. The strong one is over Israel. I'm gonna read something to you. Like I said, we've been reading scriptures, but we ain't reading them in proper context. So I'm gonna read this right quick. I'm in Deuteronomy 32. I'm in Deuteronomy 32. When I started, I'm just giving you like example of what I'm talking about. I'm starting at 35. Deuteronomy 32 and 35 says, "To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand. Things that shall come upon them make haste. For the Lord," see that? "For the Lord shall judge his people." See right here? The Lord of hosts. It's the Lord of hosts. It says, we're going to see who that is in a minute. It says, "For the Lord shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their power is gone and there is none set up or left. And he shall say, Where are thy gods?" That's the 617 crucified saviors that they concocted. He asked them, "Where you go?" I say, "Nah, they can't do nothing because you created them, you shaped them, formed them. They're not like him." He says, "And drink the wine of their drink offerings. Let them rise up and help you and be your protection." They can't because they're idols. 39, "See now that I, even I, am he." We're going to see this in a minute. "And there is no God with me. I kill, I make alive, I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hands. I lift up my hands to heaven. See that? It can't be Yahweh because the person right here lifting their hands up to heaven. Who in heaven? Yahweh in heaven. So this can't be Yahweh. So look at this. For I lift up my hands to heaven and I say, I live forever. Now, 41. If I, with my glistening sword, they're going to glisten sword right here. Yeah. We're going to make it plainer for you. Yeah. If I, with my glistening sword and my hands take hold of judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies, and I will reward them that hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword. Sword. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Yahweh got no sword. I told you that Nebuchadnezzar the one that destroyed Jerusalem, not Nebuchadnezzar. And David the one that was dishing out all the corn and the food in Egypt to people, poor people when they came. It wasn't the Pharaoh, it was Joseph. Joseph was second in command. Joseph was in charge. This angel right here in charge. He the one doing all the Most High did. We just read it right here. I'm going to read 40 and 41 again. For I lift up my hands to heaven and say, I live forever. If I, with my glistening sword and my hands take hold of judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and reward them that hate me. And I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that the blood of the slain and the captive from the beginning of revenge upon my enemies. So you see that? You see who that is right there? That's the Lord of hosts. He the one with the sword. Okay. So now, how did we get to this point? Well, he's not in the scriptures. Well, let's go to Psalms 83. And I know you've been given another rendition of Psalms 83, but I'm gonna show you right here from what I just read what happened. And he said, let me read it again right quick. I want to make this plain. Deuteronomy 32 said, Deuteronomy 32 and 32 and 41 says, if I with my glistening sword and my hand take hold of judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies. See that? So it was Cain. When Cain was turning away from making his offerings in the beginning of Genesis, it wasn't the Lord that was standing there, it was the Lord of hosts. The Lord of hosts told Cain that he couldn't make no offering. So he got a problem with him. Esau, he said, Esau, Jacob I love, Esau I hate. It's not Yahweh. They have the problem with his anger. So now let's go to Psalm 33. Psalm 33. Says, see Israelites all over the place reading this. It says, keep not thy silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God, for thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. It's this angel, it's the Lord of hosts they hate. Because he didn't want to bring the pain on them. So look what they did. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. What hidden ones? 7 angels, 7 archangels. I just showed you. That nobody sees to know nothing about. It says, they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, and the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Well, how did Jacob get his name? We first started this episode 4. I showed you when Jacob wrestled with his angel. The angel changed his name. Okay? Well, they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against it. So this is when they took out the scripture. So everybody know who Yahweh is, but the information being conveyed to you now to show you who your Redeemer is being imposed to you right now. This is what's taking out the scripture. I mean, if that's not enough, let me read Daniel 12 right quick. Show you who the deliverer and the Redeemer is. I mean, you can see it because you're dealing with the New Testament. So let's look at it. Daniel 12:1. Remember, I didn't write this. Daniel 12:1. At that time, what time? At the end. It's time for us to be delivered. At that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince. Why is he the great prince? He's the first one formed out of the seven. Standing for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even at that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered. This is going to deliver out the people right here. See right here. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. Ain't no, when this was written, it wasn't no New Testament. It was Tanakh. Like I said before, two manner of people came from Rebecca's womb. The manner of people over here, they the ones concocting this New Testament. And the Tanakh is our book. The book of remembrance is our book. Right? And then he says, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book of remembrance. Wasn't no New Testament when it was written. And wasn't nobody anticipating no New Testament. Because he told Daniel to seal it up to the time of the end. Okay? So, let me keep moving on forward. Yeah, so like I was saying before, when you understand how this New Testament thing all about, briefly discuss their scenes. So I want to go a little further into the scenes right now. Because like I said, I'm setting up for episode 5. Okay. So I had showed you this right here. Go to temple right here. Here go the layout. You go to the temple right here. Temple right here. That was 7 days. I showed you right here. I showed you right here. Yeah, you can see the gate. This is the temple right here. See the wheels back there? Well, what John supposed to be there? What Qumran and all that said? Yeah, you go gate right here. But it seems coming into the gate. So let's look at that. Okay. Get your eyes over there for a minute. You go to the cave where they was at right here. These caves where they found the Dead Sea Scrolls at. Right here. See that? See out here? You know all this out here? Wilderness, they're going to, there's a heritage temple. You go, they got a gate. Ain't no Israelites here. Got a gate right here. You see, they got you thinking they out there in the wilderness walking around like John the Baptist with eating locusts and all that, but they got access to the temple. Back door, see that? Back door into the temple. They come in and out of here. Ain't no Israelites in here. Ain't nothing holy in here. So they in and out of here. They come from here. These caves, where they found the scrolls in, right? So he goes from them right there. I just want to paint this picture for you. So, you think this right here was Jesus. This ain't Jesus. Another lie that's been told. These them. That's them. These are scenes. See what he's doing? Baptism. Like I said, ain't no Israelites baptized nobody. Most I said 2 manner of people gonna come back from the bottom. Israelites ain't doing this. They're on the West Coast out. These people. Right here. They're going right here. Going in the Qumran days. See that? They concocted all this. That's one image. Here he goes again, right here. Right here. Yeah. Them falling down praying is all the same people. These are the ones that left except their king. Here he go red-handed. Here he go red-handed right here. in there, tapping with the scroll. See in the cave, tapping with the scroll. That's all these people right here. That's how we got to where we at today. Now, we go to the dagger. Go to dagger right here. Yeah. See where he comes by being baptized? See right here? Now they say that these people right here, he ain't had nothing to do with the sin, but he had everything in the world to do with the sin. And Josephus was a sin. He read, I was looking in the book of Josephus where he said that he went out in the wilderness for 3 years. But then when he got 19, he didn't want to deal with it no more. He came back. So what they lied about is that these sins was all over the place. They're washed. There was a wash. That area was a wash with a sin. Whole area. That's what they're not telling you that. That's why they rushed it when they found those soul areas. Scenes all over the place. Like I said, they come in, they back door and come in the temple right here. They're all over the place. You see all over here. They talk about the Sadducees and the Pharisees, but they took out the fact that the scenes all over the place. These ones that got us in particular what we need today, which is the New Testament. It's a scene. I showed you that over there before, like I see it right here with this down. Yeah. Showed you right here. Yeah. They're going to Dead Sea Scrolls, bring it right on home. Yeah, the Dead Sea right here, these caves over here. Hold up. Right here. Cave right here. Yeah, cave. That's still right here. So it comes right out here, right out of there, right over here. This cave. Right into the temple. All right here. Come right into the temple, right into the gate right here. They in and out of here. They all over the place. So that's what justified these scrolls over here. Because when they was ran out of 70 AD, that's how they ended up putting these scrolls in here. When the Romans came, ran them out. So they the ones behind all this, like I said, and all this stuff come from, they was in Egypt. It was the priest of Amun in Egypt. When they was ran out there, they ended up over here, this place right here. Then they fused the Egyptian code of Horus with the Tanakh. Esau was raised by Abraham. That's how you get the New Testament. Then they attach it to our book. That's what we're going to deal with right now. I want to show you something. Anybody got any questions or comments? No questions, no comments?
Yeah, so Leonard, so the scrolls that we found in Qumran, are you saying that information had been tampered with and it really was not anything enlightening?
Oh, it was something enlightening, but they were fusing it, they were twisting the scrolls up. That's what they was doing. They had the whole community was set up with these big tables, and then they was rewriting books, rewriting them and changing the events and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they found in one of those caves, they found number torn up fragments. They had back then they had cisterns where they would keep water in.
Mm-hmm.
And the cisterns had dried up, but somebody had torn up so many scriptures and so many fragments of scrolls. The whole bottom of the cistern was filled up with fragments from torn up scrolls.
Okay.
Yeah, they was enough finagling. So this is what I'm going to show you. So the Book of Enoch, we told in seminary and all this, and as Israelites coming up in the church and all that, you can't deal with don't deal with no books. 6 books all you need. You don't need. And then so the average Israelite, he ain't gonna deal with the Book of Enoch. So we're gonna deal with this right now. So that's this. This is Ascension of Enoch, and I came across. I was telling telling AJ and Kevin about these 2 books I got right here.
Okay.
I just got these books, but when somebody was reading it online, he goes, "This Legend of the Jews, Volume 1." But this one right here is Volume 2, is from Moses to the wilderness to Esther. Moses in the wilderness to Esther, and I'm reading out of this Volume 1, and it's from creation of Moses from the creation to Moses in the wilderness. So I'm gonna read right here. It's by Enoch. I'm gonna read by Enoch. So this is the Ascension of Enoch right here. Okay. It's the Ascension of Enoch. It says, now remember what they got in the Bible. Got three little verses in there by Enoch. So let's say right here, it was not the first time Enoch had been in heaven. Once before, while he sojourned among men, he had been permitted to see all there is on the earth and in heaven. On the time when he was sleeping, a great grief came upon his heart, and he wept in a dream. He wept in a dream, not knowing what grief meant, nor what would happen to him. And there appeared unto him, look at this, there appeared unto him 2 men, very tall. Remember that now, 2 men. Come on now. So their faces shone like the sun, and their eyes were like burning lamps. And the fire came forth from their lips. Their wings were brighter than gold, their hands whiter than snow. They stood at the head of Enoch's bed and called him by his name. He awoke from his sleep and hastened and made abstinence to them and was terrified. And these men said unto him, "Be of good cheer, Enoch. Be not afraid. The everlasting God hath sent us to thee. And lo, today thou shalt ascend with us into heaven." So it's Enoch and these 2 men with him. All right, remember that. It's we're seeing with it. It says, "Sent thee lo, today thou shalt ascend with us to heaven, and tell thy sons and thy servants, and let none seek thee, till the Lord bring thee back to them." Enoch did as he was told, and after he had spoken to his sons and instructed them not to turn aside from God, to keep his judgments, these 2 men summoned him and took him on their wings and placed him on the clouds, which moved higher and higher till they set him down in the first heaven. Here they showed him the 200 angels which ruled over the stars. Okay, so it said, you first started reading it, it said that Enoch had been there before, more than one time, right? So I'm gonna go back here. So I'm reading now. It's Enoch. They don't tell y'all this. Enoch, the ruler and the teacher. After Enoch had lived a long time secluded from men, he once heard a voice of an angel calling him, "Enoch, Enoch, make thyself ready and leave the house and the secret place wherein thou hast kept thyself hidden." Remember that. He hid. Right. Okay. And assume dominion over men. Teach them the ways in which they should walk, and deeds they should do, in order that they may walk in the ways of God. Enoch left his retreat and betook himself to the haunts of men. He gathered them about him and instructed them in the conduct pleasing to God. He sent messengers all over to announce, "Yea, who desire to know the ways of God and righteous conduct, come ye to Enoch." Thereupon a vast concourse of people thronged about him to hear his wisdom, and wisdom he would teach and learn from his mouth what is good and right. Even kings and princes, no less than 130 in number, assembled about him and submitted themselves to his dominion, to be taught and guided by him, as he taught and guided all the others. Peace reigned thus over the whole world all the 240 years during which the influence of Enoch prevailed, and the aspiration of this period in the year in which Adam died and was buried with great honor with Seth, Enoch, Methuselah. Enoch resolved to retire again from the intercourse with men and devoted himself wholly to the service of God, but he withdrew gradually. First, he would spend 3 days in the prayer and praise God, and on the 4th day, he would return to his disciples and grant them. He got disciples and grant them instructions. Many years passed thus, Then he appeared among them but once a week, later once a month, and finally once a year. The kings, the
Wow.
princes, and others who were desirous of seeing Enoch and hearkening to his words did not venture to come close to him during the times of his retirement. Such awesome majesty set upon his countenance. They feared for their very life if they were but to look at him. They therefore resolved that all men should prefer their request before Enoch on the day he showed himself unto them. So we don't know nothing about none of this.
We don't know nothing about that.
Okay. So now let's go back and look at. So look here. Tie your shoes up. So look at this. Remember what we just read. Look here. Ain't that something? There goes Jesus. See, we know this. We know from what Enoch was doing. This is why he Most High took him up right here. See that? So now here, when they got the New Testament, they got him going up. See that? Did anybody see that? Hello?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
They copying Enoch.
Yes.
Right. So the comments, you see that? Play point blank, like I said, plagiarism. But that ain't nothing. Remember the Black Santa Claus?
Right.
Yes.
Look here.
Same thing.
Same thing. See what I'm saying? So this is the true story behind it. But we don't have access to the book of Enoch. Now we see why, because this is what the deal is right here. So let's get something right here, right quick, while we're looking at these images. So it says in Enoch, let me get it. Enoch, in the book of Enoch, it says in 71. In 71, it says, the angel talking, it says that Enoch 71 and 22, and the angel who talked with me came to me. He came to Enoch, came to me and greeted me with his voice and said unto me, this is the Son of Man who was born unto righteousness, and righteousness abide over him, and righteousness over the head of days forsake him not. And he said unto me, he proclaimed unto thee peace in the name of the worlds to come. In the name of the worlds to come, right? For from thence has proceeded peace since the creation of the world, and so shall it be unto thee forever, unto Enoch forever and forever. And all shall walk in his ways, since righteousness never forsaken him. With him will be their dwelling places, and with him their heritage, and they shall not be separated from him forever and ever. And so there shall be length of days with that Son of Man, and righteousness shall have peace and all upright ways in the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. Do anybody have to come behind that? Nobody got to come behind that. So that's in the book of Enoch. So now I'm in Luke. You know, they book. Like I told you, the New Testament is they book. Let me read it. I'm in Luke. Luke 19. Luke 19, verse 10. I'm gonna read 9 and 10, but I'm going to verse 10. It says, and Jesus said unto him, this day is salvation come to this house, for as much as he also is the son of Abraham. For the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which was lost. See that? Now he the Son of Man. Like I said, is a think tank that concocted this, because not only is he the Son of Man, he God, and then not only is he God, he Michael, and not only is he the Michael, he the Messiah. He all over the place, and we see right here he damn sure like the Son of Man. We just read who the Son of Man was, and we see who ascended, And we saw the reason why he ascended. He was so righteous. He ascended up. Most High took him up. And not only that, let me find something else. I'm gonna show you something else that I can't forget this. I'm in Acts. Remember, it was 2 men that came and got Enoch. They ain't, like I said, you could have trained a baboon to do this. It's you got I'm in Acts chapter 1. Acts chapter 1, 6 through 11. It says, and when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, without at this time restore all the kingdoms of Israel. And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the things of the season, which the Father hath put in your own power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost has come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in Judea and in Samaria and unto the utmost parts of the earth. And when he had spoken these words, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why you stand here gazing in heaven? The same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven shall come in like manner as ye have seen them go in heaven. See that? They took the whole scenario. They ain't leave nothing out. Straight out of the book of Enoch. And that's why the book of Enoch, you ain't had no access to the book of Enoch until now. And like I said, our creator, our Redeemer told us to search him out in the latter days. But that's where we at. We're in the latter days. And so I showed you that, you say, well, like I said, these people ain't missed a beat. So I told you that when Alexander stopped his conquest was in the Himalayas mountains, and the religion that was in the Himalayas mountain in that region, India, was Buddhism. So Buddhism was what they was doing. They was Buddhists. They was walking around trying to be like the Buddha, Sandaka, starving themselves together. They call them cynics, and all these different cynics. That's who Aristotle and all them was trying to act like. That came on the scene before Christianity. So Buddhism was the religion. So like I told you, they synchronized everything. We got a book. We had a God. They came in with Zeus and Horus and synchronized our God with their God. And then, like I said, every God you create, you got to have a book with them. So Jesus got the New Testament. That's his book. The Lord of hosts got his book, right? Well, look at this. And I told you that. So it's their God is somewhat like ours, but he ain't in our God. So watch this. And I told you that Buddhism was what they first started dealing with. Okay. Well, here go the real when the Greeks and the Romans and the Edomites got there. This is what Buddha looked like. That's Buddha. See there, you got some Afrocentrics. You got some color in them a little bit. That's the Buddha when they first got there. When the Greeks got there. This is what the Buddha looked like now. See that? This is the Buddha when they got there. This is the Buddha of now. So what's the difference in this one? See that? This is what we worshiping now, right? But this is what we started out with. This is what we started out with. All This is what we ended up with. We started out right here. This is what we're dealing with now. See, they synchronized. And like I said, it ain't nothing new under the sun because we did the same thing to the Buddha. We did the same thing to the Buddha. They ain't miss a beat. See that? So, and like I said, I got one more thing to show you, then I'm going to close it up. Oh, leave the rest of the last few minutes for question and answers. So, with that understanding, we're going to talk about the Trinity. Look at the Trinity right quick. Like I said, this information been hid over you. So this is over the Trinity. That's where the Trinity comes from. This is the origin of the Trinity right here. See, it's Horus. I told you Horus. This is Osar right here. This Osiris. His brother Set killed him. And divided him up into 17 different parts, and he threw out and he buried his parts all over Egypt. But the phallus was put in the river. This lady here, Isis, found all the parts, put it back together, but she didn't have the phallus, so she made a golden phallus, turned into a hawk and hovered over him, and she magically conceived him. That's why he looked like a hawk. So go to the Jesus story. It's a dove come down. It's a hawk on him, but it's a dove on Jesus. So anyway, so this is the Trinity right here. Ain't no Trinity in heaven. I just showed you what Enoch told us. Ain't no Trinity in heaven. So this come out of Egypt. This part of synchronization that you got in the New Testament. So you say, what you talking about? Well, look at here. Look at this here. Nobody don't know about this. See? This Crashes, I know nobody don't know about him. That's Julius Caesar. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that's Julius Caesar. That's Pompeius. So that's a triune. This is what got Julius Caesar killed. So where was Julius Caesar at? He was in Egypt. But in Egypt, he was sleeping with Cleopatra. Look at that. He slept with Cleopatra and got cesarean. So look at this. Yeah. I'm just about close. I'm ready to close. Yeah, so here go Cleopatra right here. Like I said, it's another lie right here. He told you that she was white. There she go. So Cleopatra right there. So Cleopatra was sleeping with Julius Caesar right here and got this dude. Got cesarean. They go to God of the New Testament right here. So this woman right here she's the embodiment of. She's the embodiment of this woman. She's a black woman. She's the embodiment of. Whoa. So yeah. So she did Isis. So that means she's a goddess. Julius Caesar right here at this point when he was right here, they had already made him a god. So this boy right here is the son of God. Mama's a goddess, and his daddy a god. Already on the earth, living on the earth. She declared Isis a god. His daddy right here declared a god. So this is the son of God right here. So like I said, when he left at 12 years old, he went to the monastery, but he came back 30 years old as a monk. So this was causing all the uproar all over the Middle East. Because this dude came back. When he was born at his conception, he was considered a god. He was the son of God. Julius Caesar was declared God before he died. That's what one of the reasons got him killed. And his mom was a goddess, right here. So, like I say, so they downplay that. But this boy right here was considered a son of God. His images and all that still on the walls over in Egypt right now. But anyway, so that's the part that people don't not understanding that what happened. And so Octavian came, like I told you, Octavian came and killed Cleopatra. He had, in order for him to rule, he had to kill her. He wanted to kill him, but she sent him away, and he had to kill this guy right here. And I'm gonna close. He had to kill him. Dude right here. He had to kill him. That's Mark Antony. So he killed Cleopatra right here, and Mark Antony. And he had to kill these three in order to be ruler. She sent him away. And he hid him off in the monastery, but he killed Mark Antony and Cleopatra. And so like, when he came back at 30 years old, and as a monk, he caused an uproar. But when they killed him, that's what brought the cult about. Christianity brought about. They was worshiping this dude after they had killed him. Yeah. So I'm gonna close out right there and open up for some questions and answers. And like I said, that's gonna with all this information that was brought forth tonight, episode 5 is a gaping hole. So if all this here is the case, then who is our God? And that's what we're gonna talk about in episode 5. We're gonna open up the floodgates, show you who our God is in the scriptures, line upon line, precept upon precept. Show you the order of things. Okay, so I'm gonna open it up for Q&A. Anybody got any comments or questions or whatever? Got about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that picture of that guy right there, his hair looked kind of bushy.
Right. The Edomites was mixed.
Oh, okay.
Julius Caesar.
He kind of looked like Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, but that, like I was saying, when you look at this right here, when I was showing you how in 70 A.D. they was mingled. The Edomites mingled all over the place. They was the people. They was they had they didn't have skin like ours, but they had a darker skin complexion than the average European did. And that's the people they're talking about. That like King James and all them. That were black men that had something to do with the King James Bible. They were Edomites.
Okay.
Isabella, all of them was Edomites. Some Sephardic Jews had color in them.
Mm-hmm.
That's another reason why Hitler wanted to kill them. He said they was bringing those degenerate genes from Africa.
Okay. Question. What is the connection of Mark Antony to Julius Caesar?
Mark Antony was Julius Caesar lead commander. He was like the Lord of Hosts for Julius Caesar.
Okay.
So when Julius Caesar died, all the power went to Mark Antony, but nobody didn't want Mark Antony to rule. They tried to keep him from ruling. That's how he ended up. And then he had 3 kids for Cleopatra. That's when you go to the Gospels. Thomas had a twin sister, twin brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's them. Jesus had a twin. He had a brother and a twin. So what he's saying is he had a brother that had a twin.
Okay. So who is Octavian connected to in this whole thing?
Octavian was adopted by Julius Caesar.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but what it was when you understand who these Greeks are, Octavian was his little play toy. He just
Okay.
adopted him. He adopted him though.
Okay. So in order for Octavian to rule, he had to kill Mark Antony because Mark Antony.
Mark Anthony was the control the army. He controlled all
Okay.
the legions.
He
Right,
was kind of like he was Julius Caesar's Lord of Hosts, so to speak.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, he was willing. He was a military man. That's how Rome was a military, state.
Okay.
The generals ruled everything.
Okay. So that pattern that you mentioned early on with the Most High and the Lord of Hosts is his strong one, and then you mentioned Nebuchadnezzar and
Right,
Nebuzaradan is his strong one. So that model flows through with the Hebrew Israelite nation.
right. And that's but it also shines a light on the fact that when he told Nebuchadnezzar about when Daniel was describing him the four metals, when he described the four beasts, and he said, "Thou, O king, is the head of gold." That's because of Nebuchadnezzar saw how the Most High kingdom was set up. He saw Yahweh, and he saw the seven angels, and he set his kingdom up the same way. And so that's what started the whole thing. All of them started doing that.
Okay. And so you named this class thinking like a Hebrew. So is the understanding there's no way we can think like a Hebrew unless we have all of this information that has led us astray to a Trinitarian God and to an idol.
Right.
Uh, so hold on. So Trinity has nothing to do with the model of Yahweh and a strong one.
No. The Trinity. When you go back and if you just go Google Trinity, they got 30 to 40 Trinities. They had a Trinity, Samantha, Topaz, and Nimrod was a Trinity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's all over. That's paganism. That's what Christianity is. It's an amalgamation of all the Christian religions which Greece that came in counter with.
Mm-hmm.
When they created Christianity, it's all of them stirred together a gumbo, a paganism.
Right.
That's all it
Right.
is. And they what made it legitimate was they tied it to the Tanakh
Mm-hmm.
by
Mm-hmm.
using typology. And once they created this God in the Council of Nicaea, I showed you examples of how they plugged him in the Old Testament.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, two more things, Leonard. Number one, I heard you call Enoch the Son of Man, but did you also call the Lord of Hosts the Son of Man?
No, I
Okay.
said I went to the New Testament and showed you where they call him Jesus the Son of Man.
Okay, Jesus. They call
Yeah.
Jesus the Son of Man, but that title
Right.
really belongs to Enoch.
It's about Enoch because that book came way before that, and we see what the angel quoted and told him verbatim that you is the Son of Man and righteousness dwells on you, and all the sinners after this gonna follow your ways. So how can somebody come behind it? Can't nobody come behind it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
So
then
they made him Jesus the Son of Man, but in order to make him Son of Man, you got to take out the history of Enoch.
yes.
Right. That's why we didn't have access to the book of Enoch, because a lot of stuff out of Enoch, they didn't put it on Jesus in the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then the last thing is that you really brought out in a deep way the two manner of people, because when you first look at it, it's just Rebecca. She have twins in her womb,
Right.
but she got two nations. But you broke it all the way down to help us understand that the two manner of people now end up being the people of the Tanakh and the people of the New Testament.
Right.
Yeah, very very deep teaching tonight, and thank you so much.
All right. Anybody else? Nobody else got nothing?
It seemed like a few more people wanted to come in, but they wouldn't let them enter in. So
Who would?
something's definitely going on.
What you mean? Talking about with the network?
Yeah.
Okay. There was no comments or nothing in the chat?
No.
Okay. Is AJ here?
Yeah, he's there. He tried to get in. He couldn't get in.
Oh, what? Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I told you, man, it started yesterday. You know, it's all kind of it's like oh man, it's always crazy. But like I said, I wasn't gonna let it stop me, man. Oh, just like I can't even use my Mojo. Ain't none of that up on
My computer. The reason why it was late because my computer wouldn't turn on.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's all good. Yeah, because like I said, I wanted to make sure I did this right here to set the stage for when I go into describing who the Lord of Hosts is, and see what yeah. So yeah, I got another image, man. I want to put it up here because what people not really understanding is, I mean, even with like I was saying before, with the people not understanding about these Edomites, they didn't flee under the radar. If you probably can't really see it from this a bust of Cleopatra. But if you was right up on that, her hair red, she got red hair, and you got to go back to Esau when Moses described him when he's born, and not only that, Esau went with those giants at Mount Seir. Those were red-headed giants at Mount Seir. And so you got to consider that. And so, like I was saying before, look at this here. We'll close out with this. So I told you that Cleopatra and Julius Caesar had a romance and they had Caesarion. Well, look at this here. Snods. See that? Them Edomites. He's the Edomites. He's right in our face. See the snods? That's Mark Anthony. See the snods? But look at this. Whoa, sorry about that. Look at this here. These Edomites. But people don't know that it's in history. In the history books, they don't know that these Edomites, that's the Edomites, man. Yeah. And they lied to us. I know my two older sisters, they was ready to kill me when I told them Cleopatra was a Macedonian. They said, well, they got a whole 6-7 generations believing that Cleopatra was a black woman, but she ain't no black woman. And like I said, you see that snob, man? Yeah, see that snob on there? But look at this one here. And you thinking that I was telling you how that Mosiah described what Esau looked like when he was born. So look at this. And you just think this just an image they put on there. Look at that. You think they just put that image up there just for the hell of it, but it means a whole lot more than what you think. See that? Look at that. So he's making a point. With long red flowing hair. Red beard. This dude ain't here. Look how he look. And look how they look. But look at him. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna leave it right there. Somebody got something else? Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that what you were talking about earlier about 143 BC.
Right.
you know, and the two temples.
Right.
That was huge because, you know, that's where the separation with the different camps and the different teachings and the different understanding is, you know, they're just regurgitating what somebody else said.
Right. Exactly. Right. They ain't getting no revelations or right. So
And
yeah.
as the truth,
Somebody says there's room for a bigger audience. What are you talking about?
like to host, have more people in
Oh,
where
okay.
we're at right now. It only holds 10.
No, this guy said it was a conception of twins from I don't know what that word is, confrontation or whatever that word is. I'm lost.
Hold on.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me.
Yeah.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
I've been talking all the time. This thing wasn't moving.
Okay.
Jeez.
Come on with it.
Anyway, okay, so I couldn't get in yesterday. I somehow I got off, and then when I tried to jump back in, it wouldn't let me in. I kept trying.
Right.
Next thing you know, you're not there anymore. So I don't even know what happened to the class.
So what happens is it only holds 10 people, and apparently if you're trying to get in, it'll kick somebody out to let somebody else in. It kind of rotates.
Oh, geez, but how do we
Yeah,
know when
they
somebody
need
want
to
to get in?
You talking about on a private?
exactly.
Huh?
Yeah, they need to fix that. I wish it would, you know, like Zoom can hold up to, I don't even know, like 200 people or something.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Well, yeah. Remember before we was talking about that configuration where like Abel, Cain and Abel, two different fathers.
Oh yeah, right. But I was trying to stay away from that till later on
Okay.
because you know they got it's so much stuff I didn't hit everybody weed. I was trying to not to, you know,
Okay. No
yeah.
problem.
I was trying to stay away from that.
Okay.
I had a question. So Leonard, you know, you showed us how they took the Buddha from being a a kind of a uh, colored or melanated person and took it to being white, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that racism is a cover for the changing of the gods or the bringing in of idols? They distract you by making you think that it's about the color, but it's actually about washing out a whole person or a whole god.
Well, right. Well, it's about both because it's saying it's two different manner of people, which is nationalities, and
Mm-hmm.
what they have a problem with is the fact that, like I said, our God is a living God. Lord of hosts shows up and he makes predictions, he makes prophecies, and he brings them to pass. They got idols.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that from the 16 crucified saviors, they can't do nothing. Like Jeremiah told them, when you go to Babylon, don't be in awe of those idols because they made of gold and silver and all that. But every time they got to go somewhere, they got to put them on the back of a cart and tow them there. They can't go nowhere on their own.
Right. Now, Leonard, you made a statement. You said something about people. You said the people with no eyes or people that
Oh,
cannot hear. Were you talking about the Israelites at that
right.
time?
That's where we at. That's what the Most High says in the last days when He called us forth. He says, "Bring forth the blind that have eyes and can't see and ears and can't hear." That's because of all the lies that have been told us since we've been under these curses. We blind to the truth. We ignorant,
Okay.
and that's the purpose of Deuteronomy. I mean, that's the purpose of Isaiah 44, 1-5, which is we're in the midst of it right now. He's waking us up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's raising. It ain't nothing new under the sun. He's raising up Israelites with the proper understanding and bringing
Okay.
forth knowledge because of our time. He's turning our captivity.
Okay.
You know, it's
And
time for it to go.
yeah. You said that just when you brought out Michael and Michael's job, you said Michael commands the nations.
Right.
Can you just say a little bit more about that?
Well, he's over all of mankind. He's over the whole earth. That's why when you go when you probably read the scriptures, like I said, what Esau wants you to do it's not Yahweh that was taking out the scriptures in Psalms 83. It was the Lord of hosts that was taken out. You know,
Okay.
so when you start talking about what I read in Deuteronomy 32 and 41 and 42, he was telling you all these things he do that he keep alive and he killed and all that. Then he said, with my glistening sword. So we see it's not Yahweh. So and they don't want us. They don't want you to know that it's our El, our strong one that's over us. And it's not Yah. Yah as somebody. He's a I was going to Zechariah chapter 4.
So anytime we talk about the Lord in the scriptures that's dealing with man, we know that is Michael, because Yahweh is not dealing with us, because if he dealt with us, we would burn up. He's not coming down out of the heavens of heaven to deal with man.
Right.
Okay.
That's how you can distinguish when he came down on Mount Sinai. He called Moses to the side and told him, put borders around the bottom of the mountain. Don't let nobody break through here because I'll burn them up. So we know that ain't Michael.
Okay.
And that's the person that I showed in episode 1, the consuming fire that's on top of the sapphire stone in Ezekiel 1 and 26 and 27. But right here, example, what I was talking about is in Zechariah chapter 4, starting at verse 13. It says, and he answered me and said, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then said he, these are the two anointed ones, that's the king and the high priest, that stand before the Lord of the whole earth. That's not Yahweh.
Of the earth. Okay.
Yeah. They reading over there because of what Esau had done with the New Testament. Yeah.
Okay. And then Leonard, you had said, I don't know what scripture it was, but you had read a scripture that specifically said the angel of the Lord.
Yeah, that was in Exodus chapter 3, verse 2.
Which clearly, because we have mildreds of angels.
Right.
Okay, and but the angel, the one definite article angel is Michael. Okay.
Right. And then you how you rightly divide that is, he's the first one made. He's the first one formed, so that's the angel. That's the Most High angel. And like people, like you, when you understand that, we don't know how long the two of them existed before he even what he did with the other when he made the other 6. We don't know how long they existed because that's him in Genesis 1 and 2. He says the Most High and the Spirit of the Lord moving upon the waters. That's two different beings. Yahweh was there, but it was a spirit. His first spirit he made was moving upon the waters. So Michael means he who can create. Yeah, that's what his name means. And he who was like Yah, he who can create. Yeah.
And so, Leonard, you realize that it's very difficult for a lot of people to understand that Israel as a nation was destroyed during the third beast, because they don't have record of a third beast in the the canonized Bible.
Yeah, well, it was taken out intentionally because, like I said, it's in First Maccabees. It picks right up with the way the Most High, the Bible, the scripture was written in the beginning was you get a vision, then you get the interpretation of it, and then it come to pass. But in the Daniel, we get the vision and we get the interpretation, but it don't come to pass. So that's how you know they didn't tamper with it. So it come to pass in First Maccabees.
Okay. So not knowing about that third beast, does that make it, does that open the door easier for people to believe in the Jesus the Christ? When
Right, because what they did was, and it wasn't like that at first, but over time through manipulating and changing and what they call it I can't think of the name of it, but you know how they
typology,
no how they come back and make another edition.
Okay.
Revive.
Okay.
They keep reviving the Bible. Every time they get more and more. Every time somebody find holes in it, they do another revision and then they clean all that up.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like if you look at the scriptures, just look at them. And I did a history on all that, but it was Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
Mm-hmm.
There's holes all in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John. So then that's when they came with. I mean, there's holes in Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Then they brought John on. They ain't no John.
Right.
They're using that name, but like I told you, it's a Edomite think tank that's doing this. So then they came with John. John answered all the questions. John filled in all the holes from Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
Right.
It came later. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So anybody have some more questions? Okay, we had 2 hours and 12 minutes. We're gonna shut it down right here, and we'll pick up tomorrow for the Q&A at 8 o'clock. I think 8 o'clock. Yeah. Like I said, I'm overjoyed to be able to accomplish this what we accomplished tonight, and like I said, we ain't going nowhere. We're gonna continue on one episode at a time. And with that being said, shalom, everybody.